Hey guys, in today's video I will be talking about the tropics again, another tropical update. And this is a much bigger one, much more interesting one, because of the fact that we have now Tropical Storm Edouard. It formed yesterday at the 11 p.m. advisory from the NHC, and was first at a 40 mile per hour tropical storm, and its pressure was 1,008 millibars. And now this new 11 a.m. advisory has it at 45 miles per hour, pressure is at 1,007 millibars. This is the first time I'm looking at the site today, so it might have already been 45 miles per hour by like some earlier advisory, but as of right now, this new 11 a.m. advisory, it's currently at 45 miles per hour, pressure at 1,007 millibars, and it's moving rapidly northeast at 37 miles per hour. It's moving extremely fast, just booking it. Now we have two disturbances. The NHC started monitoring this one a couple days ago, and actually just yesterday it was looking very, very organized. It was extremely small but very organized right here, around here in the northern Gulf of Mexico, and now it's starting to move inland into around Mexico Beach in the Florida Panhandle. And right now it has a 10% chance of formation within the next 2 days and a 40% chance of formation within the next 5 days. It says a small low-pressure system has moved inland over the Florida Panhandle. The small low is forecast to evolve into a large low-pressure system and move northeastward near the coast of the Carolinas. Since the low is currently over land, no development is expected today or tomorrow. However, some development will be possible if the system moves back over the water on Wednesday or Thursday. So we're gonna, again, have to wait probably a couple days, 2-3 days or so, before we really see this one try and emerge back over the water into the Atlantic, right along the East Coast, right along the Carolinas, off the East Coast of the Carolinas. And from there, really, it looks like it'll just continue its, it'll turn and start moving right along the coast north. And we'll really have to watch this just because of the fact that this system, if it does become a tropical system, does become named, by the way, if it is named, it would be named Faye. It would be the F-name storm, and it would actually break the record for the earliest F-name storm as well, just like Edouard beat Emily for the earliest forming E-name storm, fifth name storm on record. Emily formed on July 12th and became a Category 5 that formed in the 2005 Atlantic hurricane season. Edouard beat that, of course, not getting nowhere near as strong, but beat Emily, becoming now the earliest forming fifth name storm, the E-name storm. And this system could become the earliest forming F-name storm, beating Franklin of 2005, which also became a major hurricane, but of course I don't think this will get nowhere near as strong as that, but we'll just have to keep watching this. And then this new disturbance NHC has been monitoring over the past really just day or so. It's out in the MDR region, getting around near the Leeward Islands, around near the Caribbean. And it says a tropical wave continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms several hundred miles east of the Windward Islands. Some slight development of the system is possible today before environmental conditions become hostile for development on Tuesday. Wow, okay. The wave is forecast to move through the Lesser Antilles on Tuesday and could produce locally heavy rainfall and gusty winds on some of those islands. And it only has a 10% chance of formation within the next 2 to 5 days. So we're not really too concerned about this one at all, to be honest. We're really mainly focusing on this one and, of course, Edouard, which, in all honesty, will most likely become extratropical and be history pretty soon. I honestly thought it would already be history by the time we woke up this morning, but I guess not. But, that's fine. All right, let's go to Tropical Tidbits. And first, I want to show you the ocean analysis as of right now. Currently, the SSTs are at a negative 0.005, so they're kind of getting a little warmer again. It's really just now trending to be just right around that perfectly neutral line, and we'll just have to see what it'll do going through the rest of July. See if it'll finally try and get a lot cooler again or something. I don't know, honestly, but this is kind of a look into what the Enso region's kind of temperature is at, the kind of its stage is at. You can see the again this actual sea surface temperatures for the Enso region right here in the East Pacific off the northwestern coast of South America. Really, this whole area is generally cooler than average, but then getting towards the central Pacific, it gets a little warmer. So, it's generally in more of that neutral phase as it was showing, it was depicting. So, we'll just have to continue to watch that. But looking in the Atlantic, if you look into the Atlantic right now, you can see the sea surface temperatures for the whole Atlantic basin, especially the Gulf, Caribbean, subtropics region near the Bahamas, Florida, and really the MDR is also really warming. Of course, the warmest regions right now are right around Florida, the Bahamas, north of Cuba, where temperatures are at, if you convert this 31 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, that's around 90 degrees Fahrenheit or a little bit warmer. So that's a perfectly ample fuel for tropical systems to move through and get a lot of energy from, get a lot stronger from. And then the MDR is really warming up. It's getting towards that 80 degree Fahrenheit mark in a lot of places. And this area will continue to warm as we head throughout the rest of July going to August. The East Coast is getting surprisingly a lot warmer and getting a lot warmer quicker than we thought it would, especially along the Mid-Atlantic Southeast coast. Temperatures are already 80 degrees and above. And for the northern Mid-Atlantic and Northeast and New England coast, especially the southern New England coast and Mid-Atlantic Northeast coast, it's also warming pretty decently. If I just zoom in here, sorry about that. If we zoom in here, if you can see that, it has a 25 degrees Celsius right there, right off the southern coast of Virginia, and it gets around like 25 degrees Celsius from the southern Virginia, North Carolina coast up through coastal Connecticut, Rhode Island, and around the Cape. So, that's around getting towards into the 70 degree Fahrenheit range, getting very warm there with that. All right, there we go. That's the look at the current sea surface temperatures and what the whole oceans are at, the Enzo region is at right now. If we look at the current storms, you can see there's Tropical Storm Edouard, and you can see from this point, the intensity guidance kind of has it trying to maintain its strength for, as of right now, especially over the next 12 hours or so. After that point, it looks like it will really start to decrease in strength and go into become extratropical probably pretty soon over the next honestly 12 hours probably. It'll just be history pretty soon, but we'll just have to keep watching that in all honesty. Here's NVIS 98L. The current intensity guidance for this, it's pretty early on, so I don't think really these models have a good idea of what it'll do. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. The GFS ensembles, the GEFS ensembles, interestingly enough, take it pretty far, take it north and then kind of cross over through northern Georgia, through North Carolina, and then kind of keep it right along the coast of the New Jersey, Delmarva, right along the Atlantic coast, and then go right through New York City, Connecticut. So, I don't know, we'll have to see how that goes. This is the CMC's ensemble tracks. You can see it seems a little bit more realistic, honestly. It shows it going more northward, northeastward, crossing into Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and then emerging into the Atlantic, and then probably heading northeastward. So, we'll have to keep an eye on that. So now let's look at the forecast models for, we can look at the North Atlantic, so we can see Edouard. There's Edouard right there. So let's take this out, and you can see it just heads north and kind of just, dies out. There's what the GFS is showing for 98L. Let's zoom in now and take a look at that. Eastern U.S. Bring this back a bit. So let's take this back to, okay, we're at the beginning. So this is where it's at now, and it'll start spinning, moving north, and then moving kind of generally eastward. And then looks like it'll emerge over the Atlantic, try to be over water once it gets towards North Carolina, off the coast of North Carolina. and then looks like it'll move north and kind of come right up through New Jersey, New York City, and Connecticut, bringing very heavy rain for this upcoming weekend. So if you have any plans of like being outside or doing anything outside really this weekend, probably you're not going to be able to do it, honestly. Looks like we'll be getting some decent rain this weekend. So, we'll have to see how that goes. But, yeah, don't really plan on being outside that much, especially, like, being out on the water that much. Unless you look at the winds that the GFS is showing for this system, you can see it gets the winds up towards around tropical storm strength and a little above. So, we could see some tropical storm force winds with this system. We could see this system become potentially a tropical storm, in all honesty. Let's look at the vorticity with this system. It goes towards North Carolina, gets off the coast. Vorticity is right now kind of, the GFS is showing, it's kind of decent, gets a decent spin with it. And then it just heads north right along the coastline of the Mid-Atlantic and northeast and southern New England. And, again, brings all that rain and such. Let's actually see how much potential total rainfall, let it load, see how much potential total rainfall we could see with this system. You can see we could get pretty much 2 to 3 inches of rainfall from especially getting up here towards the Delmarva, up through New Jersey, very eastern Pennsylvania, New York City, Long Island, southern New York State, Connecticut, Massachusetts, even Rhode Island could potentially see up toward 2 inches. Southern Vermont, the White Mountains of New Hampshire, get into some portions of Maine. So it'll be a decent rainmaker for what it potentially may become. Of course, it's not going to be anything that strong or anything. No, it's definitely not going to be a hurricane, most likely. It'll most likely, if it becomes tropical, it'll be maybe a weak to moderate tropical storm if it really tries to take advantage of the waters. And honestly, it really depends on how early on it goes over the water. So, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now let's look at the CMC model. Bring this back to the beginning. And let's show you what the CMC is thinking of where this 98L system will go. You can see it spins, goes towards North Carolina, and kind of has the same track, honestly, as with what the GFS has for the system. It gets to North Carolina, has that low pressure center, and then heads north through the Delmarva, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and then getting into interior New England, bring all that extra rainfall after it's dissipated from whatever it could become as a tropical system. So, the CMC and GFS are in pretty much total agreement with this right now, which is very, very interesting and, just very impressive. The winds for the system, the CMC is also showing potentially tropical storm force winds, sustained winds for the system. So, it could also be a tropical storm according to the CMC as well. Just like the GFS was showing. The vorticity with this system that the CMC is showing also shows decent vorticity with the system, gets a decent vorticity with it. So, the system looks pretty good for potentially becoming a tropical system if it indeed tries to go and do that. So now let's look at the Euro, and I'll show you now what the Euro is thinking for this system. Bring this forward through time. We're going into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's that low pressure center. The Euro has around 1,009 millibars, 1,008, 1,007, 1,006, 1,004 even. So, the Euro, well, I think the slight difference with the Euro, with what the Euro is showing, is that it's showing it just slightly a bit more offshore, so it's much closer to the water and has a better, is better sourced with the water to become a little stronger than kind of what the GFS and CMC are showing. So, the Euro is in all honesty, and also pretty good agreement with the CMC and GFS as well. It's just showing it slightly more offshore, and again looks to bring some decent rain and wind, and even will probably kick up the surf in the ocean along the coasts of the Virginia, maybe portions of North Carolina up through the Delmarva, New Jersey, Long Island, New York City, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and honestly probably the whole coast of New England. So now let's look at the winds with this system. Bring this back. Bring this here. All right, let's look at what the Euro is showing for the winds with this. Oh, jeez, come on. All right, here we go. Going this forward out in time, showing the winds. You can see the winds for the system. It's showing it getting towards maybe potentially just very weak tropical depression, tropical storm status. There we go. Starting to kick the winds up a bit more, getting more towards that tropical storm status. You know, so I mean the Euro, CMC, and GFS are all showing the decent potential for it to become a tropical storm potentially. So, you know, that's something we got to watch out for in the next few days, see how the models take it and everything. Just real quick at the end here, I'll show you the Wikipedia page for the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. So now with Edouard forming, we have 5 total depressions, 5 total storms, named storms total so far. And here it says, Tropical Storm Edouard developed from a tropical depression, which formed on July 4th. The depression formed on July 4th. Into a storm very early on July 6th, so 2 days later it formed into a storm, which became the earliest 5th named storm on record, officially breaking the record held by 2005's Category 5 Hurricane Emily, which became a storm on July 11th. It was either July 11th or July 12th. I think it was more July 12th, but around that, in July 11th, July 12th time frame, Emily formed. So, you know, again, Edouard beat that record anyway. So now Edouard is the earliest forming 5th named storm on record for the Atlantic, named storm on record for the Atlantic. It's currently active. The areas it affected mostly, especially Bermuda affected, and some portions of the east coast of the United States. Damage was minimal for Bermuda, so it didn't really cause too much damage, thankfully, even though it did get, by the way, around, I believe, it was 70 miles just towards the north of Bermuda. So that's pretty interesting stuff. So it looks like we'll just see this whole kind of trend continue of just, you know, every potential disturbance that NHC is monitoring will become a named system. I guess the MDR system that NHC is monitoring probably won't, but that's fine, because the MDR area, we don't really see that heat up until we get towards the peak of the season. So, you know, we gotta wait a little bit more on that. But yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.